Welcome to Coffee with Viking. I am Mike. Cheers. Walls come tumbling down. When the people heard the sound of the ram's horn, they shouted as loud as they could. Suddenly the walls of Jericho collapsed, and the Israelites charged straight into the town and captured it. Joshua 6:20. Jericho is the first Canaanite city in the path of Joshua's army, located in a lush and sprawling oasis near the River Jordan. It's the oldest settlement ever discovered, established at least 7,000 years before Joshua. Based on descriptions of archaeologists, Jericho must have looked impregnable. It rested on top of a 10-acre sloped mound of earth about 70 feet high. 3 walls surrounded it. One held the sides of the mound in place as a retaining wall. Another sat on top of this wall, bulging 6 feet thick and perhaps a dozen feet high. Farther up the slope, near the top of the mound, towered the main wall. One ancient strategy for taking a town like this would have been to build a mountainous ramp up and over the walls, but for the Israelites, there's no need. God is about to build a ramp for them. Israelites march around the city once a day for 6 days, led by priests carrying the sacred chest that holds the 10 Commandments. Of course, that's the Ark of the Covenant. On day 7, they march in absolute silence, but this time they circle Jericho 7 times. Suddenly, priests blow ram's horns at that signal. The people scream with lungs at full force. The mighty walls of Jericho collapse. Conveniently, the walls fall outward. This creates a ramp that the Israelites use to charge up and into the city. Some Bible experts wonder if this was a miracle of timing. They wonder if God crumbled Jericho with an earthquake or aftershocks from an earlier quake that had dammed up the Jordan River. But the Bible doesn't say how God did it. And does it really matter how he did it? We know that he did it, right? Israelite soldiers kill everyone except Rahab's family, and they're instructed not to take anything for themselves. In fact, archaeologist John Garstang, digging in the ruins of what is now Jericho, found pots filled with grain, a valuable commodity for an invading army. It's not something most invaders would have left unless ordered to do so. In this little side note here, Jericho resting in pieces. The bump in the Jericho oasis is all that's left of the ancient city. Jericho city sat on top, surrounded by 3 walls. Holes carved in the mound are the work of archaeologists. Most of the experts agree the city fell suddenly and violently, but they can't agree when. Some say in Joshua's day, others insist Jericho was a ghost town at least a century before Joshua got there, which we know isn't true because the Bible is truth and told us that Joshua and his armies that invaded it, that they took down everyone except Rahab and her family. So if it was a ghost town, that wouldn't have been so. And we know God is not a liar, so his holy word that tells us that it was loaded with people and that God led them through led the armies of Israel through there to take over the city, to destroy it. We know that that is true. But there's a picture that archaeologists have put. But we know when God leads us into any battle in this life, whether it be physical, spiritual, emotional, or even within our own selves, that there is victory when we let God lead us. As we learn with Joshua, as we learned with Moses, when God leads, there is no failure. Stay blessed. Stay caffeinated. Much love.